237. But there's no need to panic there for the UPA. It will still sail past the halfway mark of 271 by taking help from outside support of 49 MPs that is offered by the parties such as the SP, the BSP, the RJD and the JDS. So, with the DMK walking out of the UPA, there's no room for panic. It still stands at a safe figure of 286 that will help the UPA2 government to remain in power.
Meanwhile, opposition rubbishing DMK's move as an attempt to play to the gallery ahead of the 2014 elections.
The war on Tamil people reached the final phase in 2009. DMK was in power in Tamil Nadu and DMK was part of the government here in Delhi, and DMK continues to be part of the government in Delhi. And what new that has happened? Suddenly DMK has been talking to quit the government. It is their problem.
The Congress playing it cool for now, but party insiders say hectic backroom talks have already been initiated with DMK to resolve the present impasse. Question is, are DMK's threat mere political posturing? And with cases pending against Kani and Raja, can the DMK afford to pull out support? Bureau Report, NewsX.
And well, joining me on the show tonight, we have, of course, political analyst KG Suresh, also Ajay Kumar, senior journalist, and another political analyst, Dr. S.K. Datta, who join us in our NewsX studios, of course. Dr. Datta, I'd like to start with you and ask you what you make of the situation in Tamil Nadu right now. And of course, that certainly has had its effect on the centre as well. You have DMK chief, in fact, Karunanidhi, writing a letter to the Prime Minister. Is it just an empty threat, or is he serious this time around?
No, I don't think so. It's an empty threat. I would say that, of course, there is political posturing, no doubt about that. But besides political posturing, I understand and I believe that there is some meaning in it also. Because the issue on which he is doing this posturing, if at all we call this posturing, you know, it's a very sensitive issue and it has got a huge ramification for the subcontinent itself, for South Asia as such. And I do understand that if we look into the politics of Tamil Nadu, and politics of Tamil Nadu, within Tamil Nadu itself, and also its reflection with the center, if Karunanidhi doesn't take a stringent position now on this issue, you know, like he might be just wiped out from the political arena of Tamil Nadu as such, because we have a very strong AIDMK, which is also very vociferous on this demand. But what I would expect Karunanidhi is like probably he should take the rest of India into confidence on this issue. And that seems to be missing as well.
Okay. Ajay Kumar, I'd like to come to you, of course, and ask you, certainly in 2009, the position of this very same DMK was very different. They did not move a muscle in 2009. Suddenly, before the 2014 elections, you see them carrying out protests, you see them carrying out rallies, and they seem to be very vocal about it all of a sudden. Are the people in Tamil Nadu going to buy this?
You are exactly correct and on the right note. It's not only the question of 2009, DMK is one party which has been enjoying power in the center with an exception of a small gap right from 2006, irrespective of the government. So they are used to comforts of the power, number one. Number two, now as you know that 2014 is approaching and the election bugle has been already blown out today in full proportion by the Nitish Kumar rally in the capital. So linking the two, I'm not saying as a threat to the government as such, because DMK, if you look at, is used to such tantrums after Mamata Banerjee or since the Mamata Banerjee. It is the second ally in the UPA, the largest one after Mamata. Whether it was the issue of the railway ministers going to after Mamata Banerjee to DMK, or whether it was the issue of the FDI, similar other issues, they have been raising voice and threatening to pull out of the government, but they have not. Because the issue is 2G, the daughter of DMK chief being involved in it. That is one very serious thing which DMK has to take a stand. But with this, I would like to say the political contours of the country has taken a change and is bound to change. Now it is going to spin at what speed, that is to be seen.
Okay. KG Suresh, is the DMK right in making these fresh demands? What are are they trying to prove? What is the kind of message are they trying to send out?
Well, you see, the fact remains that DMK has been threatening to pull out of this government off and on. And I don't think even the UPA takes them seriously. But then since they are an ally, and UPA, particularly the Congress, knows what are the shortcomings of DMK, and they know that these are at the end of the day hollow threats. But having said that, the Congress also realizes that in Tamil Nadu this is a very sentimental issue. And irrespective of whatever you call it, whether it is
It is
posturing
indeed
or
a sentimental issue.
yes, posturing or not.
But are they going to fool the public?
You see, it's not a question of, let us not look at it in a political way. It's a simply totally humanitarian issue. You know, what you saw, the 12-year-old son of Prabhakaran being killed, I mean, that was something totally unacceptable. And secondly, we should also remember.
To my next question, what were they doing in 2009 then?
No, I'm not talking about Karunanidhi at all. I'm saying that this is a sensitive issue in Tamil Nadu. Whether it's AIADMK, what DMK has now done is that they have revived the TESO, which is the Tamil Iyam Supporters Organization. And they are trying to, that so people know it very well. But having said that, this remains, this is not an issue which somebody is going to take it lightly in Tamil Nadu, or anyone interested in Tamil Nadu is going to take it lightly. Because please remember, of late, though Sri Lanka has a couple of days back released fishermen, the killing of fishermen, the attacks on Indian fishermen is also an issue over which the people in Tamil Nadu are agitated. Over and above comes this. But at the same time, we have to look at the practical aspect also. Putting the government, Sri Lankan government, Rajapaksa government on mat is a different thing. But demanding that an international monitoring team, which is what DMK is demanding, that would have serious ramifications for India also. You see, because we have friendly neighbors on our borders who have been accusing our forces of, alleged violations. Now, if we go by that, what is the guarantee that tomorrow other neighbors will not demand the same thing? So I think that it has got, as far as foreign policy is concerned, you see, demanding that there should be an independent probe, impartial probe is fine. But at the end of the day, it's an internal matter of Sri Lanka. We can at best pressurize Sri Lanka to deal with the issue in a much more humanitarian way, to be fair, to be transparent, but to interfere, we should not do anything that should be seen as interference in the internal affairs of Sri Lanka.
And Dr. Datta, we have a certain China sitting on our heads, and they seem to be making hay while the sun shines. They've already told Sri Lanka that, we are going to support you.
Absolutely. I guess when it comes to the question of India's foreign policy vis-a-vis the neighbors, I think India has, blundered a lot, especially in the case of Maldives as well as in the case of Sri Lanka.
And now you have Bangladesh
and now
as
we
well.
have Bangladesh coming up also, but Bangladesh, I would still say that it has maintained a kind of a balanced approach. But when it comes to the question of these two countries,
it has maintained a balanced approach, but if we do not, if something doesn't happen there very soon, that balance will become imbalanced.
It would become imbalanced and it would get destroyed. And let's not talk about Pakistan. Pakistan, the lesser we talk, the better it is. But when it comes to the question of these two southern neighbors, Maldives as well as Sri Lanka, I guess India should have done a relook, and she should have, redefined her perspectives in relation to the relationship which we are trying to, feather with Sri Lanka and trying to fathom with Sri Lanka as well as with Maldives. Now, coming to the question of the Sri Lankan issue particularly, I would say that, yes, there is an issue of genocide. There is an issue of ethnic cleansing.
There is no doubt about that.
No doubt about that. There has been a systematic attempt and a systematic, procedure which has been carried on for, for going for this ethnic cleansing. Now, this is a very major issue which cannot be negated, which cannot be ignored. That's one thing. The second thing is, like, I would say that Sri Lankan Tamilian issue does have an external factor in it. It is not an internal issue per se. There is this external ramification of that which affects India directly and indirectly. When we have to analyze the problems in northern province as well as in the eastern province of Sri Lanka, we have to look what ramification it has with Tamil Nadu. And that is something which is a major issue. Then besides that also comes in the issues of the refugees who are staying here in India for decades now. What position are we going to take in relation to all these refugees? Will Sri Lanka take them back? If Sri Lankan government agrees on taking them back, what is the kind of atmosphere Sri Lanka is going to provide, and most important is like who is accountable for this genocide which has taken place.
Well, that certainly is the big problem, isn't it? Who's going to be responsible and who's going to be held responsible and who's going to be punished? Now, India, it's a catch-22 situation for India. Where does India go from here? What does India do? Does India support Sri Lanka? Does it not support Sri Lanka? It's a very tricky situation for India, isn't it, Ajay?
Yeah, you are quite right. But before coming to that point, I would like to add here that a serious attempt has been made by UPA government and they have reached to Karnanidhi. Chidambaram is in touch with the Karnanidhi. He has been pressed into the service by the government. Even B. Narayan Swamy, as per my information, has spoken to the Karnanidhi and the DMK leaders. So I feel some kind of solution is going to be there very soon. But after saying this, I would like to say, this is, you see, it's not the issue of Tamil only, as we are trying to say here. It is the issue for the entire country. Whether they are Tamilians, whether they are Andhrites, whether they are from UP, they are Indians first. So in that ramification, we have to see this problem. And because Hindus are getting maimed and killed in Bangladesh, the Indian prisoners are badly treated in the prisons of the Pakistan. Then this is the issue of the Tamils in the Sri Lanka. So Indians, laborers are treated very badly. All the violations of human rights takes place in Gulf countries. So how long India is going to be a soft nation? That is the issue. UPA 2 in particular, if I'm going to talk, if one of the issue which UPA 2 was facing is the policy paralysis, which we have seen, which has led to slow down of the economic growth. Now that policy paralysis was not only limited to the reforms, the economic policy, but has also seriously impacted and affected the foreign policy of the India. And as a result, this is happening. It is mere the iceberg. If India doesn't change its stand and start taking a respectable humanitarian position for the citizens working abroad, India is going to face a big challenge in coming days.
I would like to add one more thing out here, very quickly. I guess when it comes to the question of Indian diaspora and people of Indian origin,
Yes.
I think India has, maintained and has kept a very, very horrendous and horrible kind of a policy. And we have examples of this in the past. When there was turmoil in Fiji, we were a mute spectator. We were silent. When there has been turmoil in Trinidad and Tobago, we have been silent. In Guyana, we have been silent. In the Middle East, we have been silent. See the case in Malaysia, when this problem against the people of Indian origin was taking place, we have been made mute spectator,
I can see Suresh nodding his head. I can see Suresh disagreeing.
I think let us not confuse. Just because they speak Tamil, the Ceylon Tamils, who are the plantation Tamils, are of Indian origin. But the Jaffna Tamils are ethnically Sri Lankans. They have been there for centuries and they have shared, so they are not of Indian origin. Indian origin Tamils are based in Sri Lanka, Ceylon, Colombo and other areas, nearby areas. Jaffna Tamils are different. Let's distinguish between the two. Secondly, please remember that today, because of the relations between the two countries, massive rehabilitation and relief efforts are being undertaken by India. Indian government is involved in major, whether it is hospitals, whether in the terms of medical assistance, in terms of, massive housing projects. India is there engaged. So while there is absolutely no doubt that we have to condemn the barbaric atrocities on the Tamils, we have to, even last year we had supported the US resolution and we have to put them on the mat. We have to, tell the whole world what has happened and pressurize, globally exert pressure on them to ensure that justice is done. At the same time, we will have to engage Colombo, because otherwise, if we sever relationship or end our diplomatic ties, that will be the biggest loss for the ethnic Tamils who suffered so much, because we are engaged in massive relief efforts there. We have to be engaging the government of Sri Lanka, while at the same time, we also ensure that there is international pressure on them to act, to punish the reconciliation committee, their conditions, they follow whatever was given to them last time. These things have to be ensured. We will have to have a, not a unidimensional, but a multidimensional approach to the problem of Sri Lanka.
Okay, we have to have a multi-dimensional approach to the problem of Sri Lanka is what Suresh is saying. But should India involve itself in the first place, or should India say it is Sri Lanka's issue? Sri Lanka has been fighting these Tamils for the last 30 years. Let them deal with it and let them come out of it a stronger nation. What should the approach be?
No, it's not a question of India not involving in the Sri Lankan case. India has to be involved in the Sri Lankan case.
But then isn't it a case of playing Big Brother then?
No, not at all. For a systematic, like balance of power in whole of South Asia itself, and also for maintenance of peace in South Asia, it is very important for India to, like play a decisive role. I would not say that India should intervene as a brutal force, or as a brute step brother or a big brother, but it should play the motherly role as such, and the issue should be such that it is solved and everyone is taken into consideration while solving this problem. I rightly agree with Suresh when he says that we cannot disengage Sri Lanka. We have to engage Sri Lanka. We have to keep them on board. We have to engage Colombo, and we cannot afford allowing them to tilt towards China. That is going to be dangerous for us. The second thing is, like, at the same time, we cannot ignore and negate the fact that the brutalities which have taken place in Sri Lanka should not be addressed, and those who have done this heinous crime, they should not be punished. That has to be there as such. What I would say is, like, the approach of India should be, sugar-coated with an iron fist.
Sugar-coated with an iron fist. Let's see if India can do that. Of course, in the past we failed, but hopefully they'll be able to do that. Let's come back to the issue, the core issue, of course, between the Congress and the DMK. Ajay, do you see the Congress bowing to the demands of the DMK now, or do you believe that it is the DMK who requires the Congress more right now because of the several issues that are docking the DMK, and you see the Congress just brushing aside this threat of the DMK?
I would rather say both the parties has become liability for each other, but at the same time they are the necessity.
Okay.
They complement and supplement. So that is the situation, the political situation. As I said, that this time it is the Sri Lanka issue. Previous it was the railway minister issue. Third day it could be another issue. But the politics is bound to change as we are heading towards 2014. Congress would like to increase its Lok Sabha tally in Tamil Nadu. So it is also important, politically important for Congress. They can't ignore this issue. They would have to. And going by the previous few decisions of the UPA government, like the toughest stand taken by the Prime Minister on the issue of the Italy mariners not coming back to the country and the Kerala Faisal Bank being killed, I feel Congress is going to act tough on this issue.
Okay, Congress is going to act tough. Let's just wait and see if the Congress acts tough or not. But Suresh, this is vote bank politics at its highest, isn't it? Are you of the opinion that political parties are allowed to do this? This is how they cater or they appeal to their voters, or do you say that this is inappropriate?
No. At the end of the day, you see, I totally agree with you that political posturing is here, but political parties also have to respond to the sentiments of the people. And in Tamil Nadu, the people are actually agitated over this issue. There is a strong resentment. You must have seen that even some Sri Lankan priests were assaulted. There were attacks on Sri Lankan pilgrims. So much the security of the Deputy High Commissioner of the Sri Lankan government has been enhanced. So I think that there is a genuine concern there. But having said that, you see, both are dependent on each other. I totally agree here with Ajayji that at the end of the day, you see, UPA has come to realize that despite its attempts to woo Jayalalitha is not coming to be part of. On the contrary, she is growing closer to not only to BJP but also even Mr. Modi. Having realized that, Congress desperately needs allies. It has to, if not get new allies, at least it has to retain its allies. And it is hoping against hope that some kind of an anti-incumbency would be there in Tamil Nadu, and that it can encash on that, and at least some seats would fall into its kitty. So I think that while there is absolutely no doubt that Karunanidhi, because of all the CBI cases and other things, it does require the UPA support. I think UPA also requires that kind of a support from the DMK. It's a mutual, because they have been partners in crime or corruption, whatever you may call it. So I think that they both need each other, and I think that already Mr. Chidambaram, if you had gone through his statement, he has already said that there will be good news I don't think that would have been the appropriate word that he used. Good news, good news, good news. There's no good news in here. But yes, I think that what he is indicating is that, you know, the government is going to support the US resolutions, and but it remains to be seen whether it would exactly press for the amendments as suggested by DMK, including an international
But
monetary group.
India wasn't as critical against Sri Lanka as one would think that they would be at the UN. In fact, we saw that earlier, and that of course seemed to have angered Karunanidhi as well, didn't it?
Yes, it has, and I would say that right from the beginning, India has maintained a very kind of a tightrope kind of a position on this whole thing. Like, I do understand that, yes, there is this internal politics in Tamil Nadu, which has a ramification at the national politics also. Besides that, also comes into play the question of geostrategic equation.
Yes.
You know, like in the whole of South Asia and Southeast Asia, strategic equation is changing. And we cannot negate and we cannot ignore the fact of China and the way China is trying to encircle India from all over, you know, in this whole Asia-Pacific region.
It is worrisome.
It is very worrisome, and therefore it becomes much more problematic for India to take a clear-cut stand. You know, and that's the reason India has to, you know, like it's something like you go 9 steps ahead and then you come back 8 steps behind. That is the kind of a scenario for India, but it is going to be a tight rope for India in coming days. India cannot negate the, you know, the nationalistic sentiments as well as the Tamilian sentiments. It also has to take consideration the importance of Colombo, and at the same time the humanitarian and the legitimate demands of the Tamil also has to be taken into consideration, and there has to be an inquiry on the war crimes. You know, there is no doubt about that. There has been a systematic ethnic cleansing which has been taking place, and the Sri Lankan regime has to be answerable.
All right, the Sri Lankan regime has to be answerable, but let's look at the numbers game as far as the parliament is concerned. Of course, DMK has 18 seats. Ajay, now the DMK pulls out. The numbers of the UPA, of course, go down to 237, but they still have the outside support of the SP and other parties, in fact, which is about 50 MPs. So that still keeps them safe, and at 286. So is that something that the Congress needs to be worried about? Is the opposition going to pressurize them if the DMK pulls out of the UPA?
No, you are right. As we are discussing about the numbers are in favor of the UPA, even if the DMK pulls out of it. But it's not the question of the number. At pre-election time, what kind of masses, political masses, UPA would be sending to other alliance partners. Now the need of the hour is to expand the alliance, whether it is for the NDA or whether it is for the UPA. Both are out searching for the new partner to send very positive masses to the nation, to the electorates, that they are the right choice for the people in 2014. So more than the number, it is the issue of the political message which the UPA will be sending out at the election eve,
Right.
when DMK pulls out. So it is very serious for Congress to give a positive message by solving out the problem. They should open inter-diplomatic process to handle the issue, as Mr. Suresh was saying with the Colombo, and find a solution to it. And I'm hopeful, as I'm seeing by the statements coming out from the UK
Yeah,
quarters.
we're all hopeful that we see some kind of
there
a
is
solution.
something in the
And
pipeline.
we're completely running out of time. Suresh, in 10 seconds, closing comments in just 10 seconds.
No, I mean, we have been bungling all along so far as the Sri Lankan policy is concerned. Whether it is the creation of LTT, then sending the IPKF there, you know, we have consistently bungled. One hopes that now at least the time has come when we rectify those mistakes,
Okay.
and ensure that the people of Idam, you know, get northeastern Sri Lanka, get justice, and that has to be done, and there is absolutely no threat to the government as per se. But at the same time, you see, the UPA has to, already TMC
All right.
has left it, it has to ensure that, you know, a positive message is sent across.
All right, let's hope that a positive message is sent out, and let's hope that the Tamils in Sri Lanka, of course, get justice at the end of the day, because that's what we want to see. We'd like to see some peace in Sri Lanka. With that, of course, we'll call it a wrap on this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you so much, Ajay Kumar, KG Suresh, and SK Datta as well for joining us on the show tonight and sharing your views and perspectives. Thank you so much for watching.